Hey guys, it's 007 here, and we're gonna take a quick look at another addition to the 1.81 patch for War Thunder. We'll be seeing a quick glimpse into the warrior, as I do not have it. I'm gonna do it the traditional way of working my way through getting the vehicle, but I figured I'd mention it quickly just to put the sense in it. A lot of people covered this YouTube-wise regarding the addition of the vehicle and all that, and people really started dwelling on some certain aspects of the vehicle, and honestly I think I wanted to put some of the major points aside, or in focus, depending on what we're looking at in all that regard. But overall, I'm looking at the vehicle as, you know, what it's going to be bringing to the table for Britain as a nation. So, starting off, I gotta say, the Warrior is probably the best thing that's happened to Britain since the Challenger being introduced. It is on that of a level of incredible support for the tree. For the longest time, in order to use ATGMs in the British tech tree, you have had to rely on these two vehicles, the Swingfire and the Striker series. Now, obviously you can also rely on the Sturv, but we're talking about high tier sense, not, you know, the standard mouse guided ATGM. And Swingfire and Striker were the only ones in business for Britain doing it. And for all aspects, they did a decent job, but the problem was, if we look at the vehicles themselves, the vehicles are completely incapable of firing. Well, I'll get to the Striker quick, but overall, they can't fire level trajectory shots, and they don't have any additional armament besides a low caliber or sub-caliber machine guns. It's just, they're very much outmatched when it comes to close quarters fighting. Now they can get clever. I've done clever things with them, like driving down slopes, but obviously that's not the solution for the overall vehicles and all that. But I never really dove into what the Warrior, what it was bringing to the table. I knew it was a great APC. You know, it's recognized by many as a world beater. And when I heard it being introduced, I was really excited because the idea of introducing APCs to the game. Now, in my opinion, I think they should add the Bradley to the game. It seems only right. The BMP-2 being added in the Warrior, it just makes no sense why you wouldn't add the Bradley. It would just be a combo with the Abrams that would need to be fulfilled. But beyond that, once again, focusing on the Warrior, what the Warrior brings to the table is extraordinary, because now we have an autocannon, so that gives us the ability to fight close quarters and against other vehicles, and even repel aircraft with a larger caliber weapon rather than a machine gun on a swivel turret. We actually have the capacity to fight the enemy in a more conventional means, but not to take away from the ATGM, because the ATGM is one of those major factors. So I didn't know they added the Milan 2 as a thing for the the Warrior, but starting off with, the Milan 1 has 580 mils of penetration, and if we look at the Striker, which is the same missile as the Swingfire, the only difference is the missiles have different ranges, so it's not really that big of a difference, but penetration is exactly the same, 500 millimeters on flat surface. The Warrior stock missile can do 580 millimeters on flat surface. That's incredible. And if we were to be lucky enough to upgrade this vehicle, we will have 730 millimeters of penetration with flat hit armor. To put it in perspective, Britain has just gotten a Racket and Jagdpanzer Hot with a 30mm autocannon, or I shouldn't say automatic, it's more like a semi-automatic cannon. But the fact is, it still has the ability to fight close quarters, and we don't have to fire indirect ATGM shots. That's tremendous upgrade. And here's the thing I don't understand. How did this get to 8.0? Like, honestly, how did this thing get to 8.0? These vehicles are horrible compared to the Warrior. If I was Gaijin, I would raise this to 8.3 at least, but at most 8.7, and maybe even 9.0. But I would hold back on that statement the only reason I say 8.3 or 8.0 would work is purely down to the fact that there's not very many vehicles that sit at 8.0. The Chieftain Marksman is the only thing that sits with the 8.0, and I mean, you could go out with the Warrior as a primary. It would be cool. I'm thinking about doing it in high tier. I think it would be a lot of fun. But the Warrior has tremendous potential that's being understated with its VR currently, and obviously that's the thing with these patches is they usually go 1 or 2 weeks and then they update the VRs to fix the whole situation. We'll likely see that with the ME163 with the 20 mils. I think that's going to be insane. That should almost be 9.0 considering how great it is. Although it's 8.3, I would personally move it to 8.7 because it's a little bit ridiculous for 7.3. So once again, back to the Warrior. I keep getting off topic. The Warrior is outstanding. And I'm gonna test drive it. Yeah, okay, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else to be mentioned. I mean, obviously in the modules tree, if you like look back and all that, we can look back at it at the end of it. But the APDS round belts are literally in the first tier, and on beyond that, smoke grenades are stock with the vehicle. That's incredible. A vehicle that will give you the ability to use smoke in the beginning of its use, that I can think of 1,000 times better situations with smoke than without smoke. But let's look at the Milana quick. Yeah. I think I like this ATGM a lot. Obviously the slow fire 30 mil is a problem. That's one of the things that dwelled on. Not stabilized and slow fire. It'll likely be there purely for the close quarters. You got the rear end of a vehicle, or you have a vehicle that you're, you know, oh, I tell you what, I didn't plan for that. That was pretty lucky. But it's primarily going to supplement your ATGM. The ATGM is going to be doing the work. The only thing the cannon there is going to be for to distract, harass, and lightly defend. I mean, I don't even know what the stock belt's capable of, and can't really do it here, but yeah, it's pretty much no match for this thing. For now, it's likely, with the APDS rounds, it's hard to say what it can and cannot do, but this ATGM is just insane. I wouldn't even say it's worth it to even shoot at people's guns. You're just better off shooting their optics and just hoping that they get distracted. Stock-wise, though, I can't really make a determination regarding the mobility. To me, it's performed just as well, if not better, than the Striker and Swingfire. They're a little bit sticky, the Striker and Swingfire, when you drive them. They tend to need a little bit of going first to really spin up and get their momentum going. This thing's pretty good, considering the raw power it's transitioning into the frame. This thing is so much fun to fire. ATGM, obviously there's a lot of glitches and all that, but I'm not willing to talk about that. It's just, if you want to look at that kind of stuff, look at the old patch stuff from other people on YouTube. This is the final product, for now. Because I think this thing's going up 8 BR-wise easily. If that's also, I don't know if it's waterproof. I don't believe it is. It could be. I don't know. I never was really one for that. It doesn't look like a very hydrodynamic design in the front. It looks like it would easily get a tow. So I'll test that out later, but it'll probably be in the description if it's capable of floating or not. But the thing to take away from this is the 30 mil will do just fine. The British will love something that will assist them, because it's annoying enough going in. You have a Chieftain as your backup, you have your Challenger as your primary, and then after that you have to rely on something that's incapable of close quarters fighting, and it's an ATGM. Now, I mean, they're good, like I said, but they could be better. So That's probably what I can show from the field, but we'll go back, like I said, to the modules and we'll show the belts. When I heard about this vehicle coming out, I was really excited, but I didn't know it was going to be this big of a deal. Obviously, it would have been nice if it had a stabilizer, but you know what, you can't have everything, and I think that's one of the major takeaways. One thing I don't understand is the BMP2, but I'll talk about that in another video, maybe. I think the Warrior's a bigger deal than the BMP2 is, for all facts and intents and purposes. But yeah, so look at APDS. So you literally, yeah, research parts first. You can go for the horizontal drive if you want. I mean, the traverse was really fast, I think, back on the test server, but I think it's just fine. 35 degrees is pretty quick. Then you have your HVAP, which would be what you would pursue secondly, the APDS. Back to the FPE. I assume you would either choose your mobility or choose to improve the gun. Probably the gun would probably be better. Fire control would be better, and just get that Milan 2 as fast as possible. I mean, the missile's cutting through really well, but I think you're going to need, if you're going to go fight with the big boys, I think you're going to really want the Milan 2 system. That's just the major takeaway in my opinion. I have no idea what it does against ERA. That's something to look at. You can't do that anymore. Obviously strip the ERA package from the BV model, so it's now the B model regular in the shooting range. But yeah, I'll put it in the description whether or not this thing floats or not. But besides that, there's nothing much I can really say besides that. It's a really good vehicle for Britain. I'm putting that in the stance. It's going to help Britain a lot. It's going to help Britain out a lot. There's my English. It will be very beneficial. So that's all I've got to say. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.